Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. Today I have a great project for you. But first, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so that you are alerted every time I drop a new video. On to the project. Today I am going to show you how to create these fun little treat boxes. You can put candy in there to give to your grandkids, your nephews, your neighbors. And it's so easy. And you can make this out of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I am using the Potions and Spells stamp set and thin cuts. I used those to create this particular box. For the one I'm going to make today, I decided to use the brand new Halloween papers from Stampin Up. This is the Potions and Spells collection. So I'm going to use some of this for my pattern paper. And this is the brand new two-toned cardstock by Stampin Up. The colors are Gorgeous Grape, Pumpkin Pie, Basic Black, Granny Apple Green, Pool Party, and the new White Willow, which is the old, close to my heart, White Daisy, but renamed. This is two-toned, so it's white core, and you can see that the color is darker on one side and lighter on the other. So it should prove to make some really cute boxes. You can easily make these boxes with 8.5 by 11 cardstock like I did here. But on this one, since I wanted to use the new Halloween papers, I am going to be cutting mine from the 12 by 12 paper. So let's start with our base box. I'm using the pumpkin pie, and this needs to be cut 6.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut my 12 by 12 piece into 6.5 by 11. And remember that this particular paper is the two-toned cardstock. Okay, if you want to use the regular Stampin' Up pumpkin pie, which is solid core, you can use that too. But this is from the new Halloween set. Okay, and then the pattern paper, I'm going to cut at 3.5. I don't know if you can see, this one has the sort of the potion bubbles, just like the bubbles coming out of the cauldron there. But I was thinking about going with a cat, the black cat theme. So I thought it would be cute to add the cauldron in the printed paper. Okay, so 3.5 by 3 3/8. Remember the 3 3/8, it's the medium line right before the half, because the half is 4/8. If you are using paper that is directional, you'll want to keep that in mind, okay? This is pretty much, you know, it doesn't matter what direction you're going, so I'm not worrying so much about the direction. So that was 3.5 by 3/8. I need 3.5 by 1 1/4. And I need 2 of those. Okay, so I got 2 of these. And then we need, the next 2 are 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 of an inch off of here. And so I need 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. and another one, 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, and then this is leftover. So remember that these are slightly different. One is 3 1/2 and one is 3 1/4. Okay. And then we'll decide what we're going to do for the top afterwards. So we'll cut that paper later. Okay, now we're going to score our box base piece. So take your 6 1/2 by 11 piece and put it with the 6 1/2 side up, and then score at 1 1/2 on both sides. So 1 1/2 on this side, and then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and do 1 1/2 on the other side. Okay, so hopefully you can see that scored on both sides. Okay, now turn it on the 11-inch side, and here we're going to score at 1 1/2, 5 1/4, 6 3/4, and 10 1/2. Okay, I've got this all scored. Now get out your bone folder and just burnish along the score lines. Since my paper is two-toned, I want the darker side to be on the outside, so I'm scoring everything towards the lighter side. If you're using regular one-tone cardstock from Stampin' Up that has a solid core, it won't matter. But if you are using two-tone cardstock, you need to decide which side you want to be on the outside. I just like the color of the darker side, and the darker side is the true color. This is the side that will match the Stampin' Up solid core paper. And don't forget to score this direction also, because now you can start to see the box shape taking shape. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to remove the corners here on the small 1/2 inch side. So this is the side that was scored at 1/2 inch here. This is the flat part. Okay, so we're gonna remove this, because this is the part that's going to tuck into your box. Okay, and I'll show you on the box. So here is the 1/2 inch side. Okay, this is the part that's going to tuck in. See how that tucks in? Okay. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is cut along all of these score marks just up to the next score mark. So we're cutting up until we hit the score line. We're cutting up till we hit the score line, and then turn it over and do the same thing. Cutting up till we hit the score line. Cutting up till we hit the score line. And cut it up. Okay, now there's a couple other things we need to do to prepare a box before we put it together. If you notice on this box, I have this little cutout. I didn't think about doing that until after I had assembled the box, so I cut this by hand, and you can see it's kind of not cut that great. So what I'm going to do is cut it with a circle die. Okay, and so the part that you're going to cut is the part that's on the opposite side from the 1/2 inch score. So that, remember, this is your flap for your box. To close it, this is the part that's going to be coming up for it to sort of flap into. And all that does is it makes it easier to open it up. It kind of gives you a place to grasp, so to speak. Okay, see? It just gives you kind of a thumb hold there. So I'm going to get my die cut machine. And again, it's the side opposite to the 1/2 inch. And since this is 6 1/2, it didn't quite fit into my machine. So I want to score it, but I want to keep in mind that I don't really want it to go down farther than this 1/2 inch. Otherwise, there would be a gap there. Okay, so at the very maximum, you want it to be a 1/2 inch down. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just eyeball it, center it, and not go down more than a 1/2 inch. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then I'm going to put the top plate on and run it through. Okay, and so you can see now we've got this opening there. Okay? But you also have to keep in mind that we are going to be putting our decorations on here. So we need to cut whatever you're using to decorate the sides of the box. And out of the pieces that you cut, remember there's the longer pieces and the shorter pieces. This is going to be the shorter one, the 3 1/4 inch one. Okay. And then I just kind of want to eyeball it. So let's see, I'm going to put it like this. This is about where I want to put it on the outside. And so I'm going to kind of put it over and then using a pencil, just kind of mark it. Okay. And then when you put this down, you actually want it to be a little bit beyond that, because you want there to be a little bit of the, in this case, the black trim showing there. So I'm going to make sure I can see where I drew the line, and then put the die there. Now you can do this by hand if you don't want to dig out your die cut machine. This just makes it a little bit, you know, more, I don't want to say professional, but it just looks a little neater. Okay, and let's see if it does okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So see how that's going to be? So this is perfect. Okay, and the next thing you want to do to prepare is we're going to cut a little bit of the corner off of here so that it makes it easier for this to slip in here. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a little bit here, and then a little bit here. I'm only going in about, you know, 1/4 inch or so, something like that. Okay, now I think we're ready to add our adhesive. To add our adhesive, what we're going to do is take these small tabs and push them up like this. And this is where we're going to be adding our adhesive. And I am using tear and tape. So I'm going to put a piece here. You should use something that is fairly strong. You could use the Stampin' Seal Plus if you want. You can use the tear and tape or something like score tape or red line tape. You want something sturdy so that it would hold the box together, especially if you're giving it to, you know, young kids who might be opening and shutting the box a lot. You know, you just want it to be sturdy. So I am adding 3 strips on each one of these so that I know it's going to be held together pretty well. Okay. So let's score these down or burnish these down so that it's on there really nice. Okay, now all we need to do is decorate. Now remember, I'm going to decorate on the dark side since it's two-toned. Kind of keep that in mind. So the first thing we need to do is get our bigger piece, the one that was 3.5 by 3 3/8, and that is for the top. Okay, and this part is the top, the part where the 1/2 inch score line is. Okay, and remember, this is not exactly square. It's 3.5 by 3 3/8. Okay, so make sure you've got it the right direction. And then I'm going to tape this down with some Stampin' Seal. Okay, gotta make sure I got it the right direction before I put it down. Yeah, this is the right direction here. And then, so that's basically this piece here. These ones don't get decorated, but this piece does, and then this piece does, and those are the shorter ends. Okay, so let's start with this one. These are the ones that were 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, and then we need to do the longer ones, and they are going to go on here. If your pieces are directional, think about it before you adhere these down, but mine are not. That's why I really recommend either using solid cardstock or unidirectional or multi-directional, paper. Okay, and now I think we are ready to assemble. Before we do, let's just do a dry run so that we know we've got this correct. Okay, got it. So the bottom part, the bottom pieces are going to come up and cover these parts that are seamed. Okay. And then this part is the one that's going to be going in and out. Okay. Okay, so let's take off the tear and tape here. The covers, not the actual tear and tape, but the backings. So easy with this Picket tool. It's great for taking off the backs of dimensionals also. Oh, well, really, I should have, well, we'll see. I like to do it kind of one side at a time, but I took them all off, but that's okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is these two pieces are going to go in, and this piece is going to cover it. So we're going to push this side in, and then line this piece up with the side, because you want it to be square. You want your box to be square, so make sure that you line that up. And then this piece is going to go in and line up the corner so that it's square. And see how it looks on the inside? Make sure that it's, see this little piece is sticking up a little bit. I'm going to just trim that. That's just from how I cut up on the, along the score lines. It's not necessary, but it would bother me if I didn't do that. Okay. Now this side, let's put the one side up, match the corners. And then this one goes on. And notice that it's being adhered on the inside. And that's so that your seams are inside and you can't really see that. And this one here too, looks like the, you know, I didn't cut great against that score line, so I'm just going to trim that real quick. I don't want it to stick up past the, that side piece that comes up. There we go. Okay. And now, look at this. You just fold that in. Look at this nice, clean box. Gorgeous. And the top goes in and out. Okay, now we just need to decorate. Okay, so for this box, I used the Potions and Spells stamp set, and I used the dies that you can get in the bundle. So I cut the cauldron, and I cut the like ooze out of there. So I used this, and I did the broom. I made the broom, and then some of these test tubes, or you know, bottles, chemistry bottles. And I stamped the books with the stamp. On this one, I wanted to use the cat because I want to make it a little bit different. So I want to use the cat, and then I was thinking about putting him on the books, and then maybe the broom. What do we think about that? This is kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out. So I need to stamp the books, and I think stamp the cat. Okay, for my stamps, I'm going to use just basic weight cardstock from Stampin' Up. And let's see. I think I'm just using a scrap of paper I have here. Okay. And I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm gonna ink up the cat. You could just cut the black cat out of with the die cut, but then you wouldn't be able to see the eyes and the nose and that. So I'm going to stamp it and then color it in. So there's the cat. And then let's see the books. Okay, now we just need to color. Okay, I'm going to color these in. I'm just using these tri-blend markers. This one is the Tan Blend. Just to give it a little bit of color. Let's see, the potions. Let's make the potions one green. Trying to go with the colors of my box. But you can make it whatever color you want. Okay, the ones with the pages showing, I might use this lightest tan. I don't have to think about what color. Maybe a purple for the book cover. Let's see, this is the Lavender Blend. And I'm just doing the outline, so I have to get in a little bit close. I'm sorry if my hair is in the way. Okay, and then maybe since I have it here, I'm just going to do like a dark gray. There we go. Okay. Now I'm using the ice gray for the cat. And you can color the cat really any color that you want, but since it's Halloween, I feel like it should be a black cat. So let's see. I'm kind of doing the outline. This is a pretty dark gray. So maybe it's a little bit too dark. Let me see if I can get a different gray. Just for the face, let's see, this is brown gray. I'm gonna kind of color that in there. I don't know, I don't like that. Yeah, so this brown gray, I guess, is a better gray. I'm using the mid color here. This is also the color I think I used on the cauldron when I colored it in. I'm gonna go over that ice gray with this dark brown. I might see about making his face the light. I'm gonna try and leave his nose to make his nose pink. And his eyes. I might make his eyes yellow. see which side is dark. Again, I'm going to go over this part that I did in the ice gray that I don't like. Now I'm just going to try and blend this in a little bit so it doesn't look so multicolored. Trying to make him look a little bit scary as a black cat, you know. Okay, let me find a pink and a yellow for his eyes and mouth. Okay, I'm just going to use this gold yellow for his eyes. That looks good. And then this is pale pink, just a dot for his nose. I don't know if you can tell, but okay, now let's cut these out. Bring out my die cutting machine. And get the dies from in here. Here's the book, and then here is the cat. Okay, place them on here. There we go. The nice thing about Stampin' Up! Dies is that they are really tight on the image. And I love that. You just have to be careful that you've got it placed nice. It looks like my cat might have moved a little bit, but that's okay. He's still pretty good. Okay, and then the books. Okay, now we need to cut the broom. So here's, oh, here we go. Here I cut it, just the cat. Okay, so this is what I use for the broom. I use kind of shortbread. I think this is close to my heart, shortbread and toffee. Let's see, did I get the broom pieces? Where are the broom pieces? Okay, I found these, so I'm going to put my broom here, and I'll save space to cut another one. And then, there we go, the straw part. Okay, and I cut this out. There are no stamps that go with these pieces. That's another thing that I think is good about the Stampin' Up! Bundles, is that you do get dies that don't just go around your stamped images. You know, there are specialty dies like the cauldron. Well, the cauldron, you can stamp the cauldron, but you have the broom. Let's see. I don't think there's a stamp for the you can pour ooze out of your one of these bottles. You can make it like this, like it's pouring ooze into your cauldron. So this ooze die is a specialty It's not involved in the stamp set. And also the bottles, the round bottom flask and that other bottle, that's a specialty. Okay, so now let's see about decorating, and we might have to cut some bottles or something and a sentiment, but let's place this on here and see. I want to see how much space this takes up. So I wanted it to be like this. Okay. And I do want a sentiment. So let's see what the sentiments are. We've got Happy Halloween, a little hocus pocus, and double double toil and trouble. I think we could put a little hocus pocus on something. If I do, let me see, if I do it like this and then put double double toil and trouble, let's see how that fits. I do have a bottle cut. I could cut a couple of these. Double double toil and trouble. No, that doesn't fit because then the cat can't stand up on here, which is what I want him to do. So I think we're going to do a little hocus pocus. Okay. So let me find a die that I could cut a stamp that onto. Okay, I think I've decided to use this die to cut that out, and it's from the Iconic Imagery bundle. So I'm gonna have to cut it this way. Let's cut this out. And then I'll stamp on it just to make sure I get it nice and centered. I really love having my sentiments cut out of a shape. But you could just cut around the words if you want. Okay, now let's stamp onto that. I am going to stamp it in the Memento black, tuxedo black. Little hocus pocus. Look how cute that is. Okay, now let's start assembling. I think what I'm going to do is pop this up. And so I will put all of the other things directly onto the box base and then pop this up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use the Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. I think it will be easiest for small pieces like this. Don't put too much and don't get it too close to the edges so it squirts out. I put it about here. Make sure I leave room for the cat. Okay, perfect. Glue the cat down. Okay, I'm happy with that placement. Make sure it's all stuck down. I feel like I didn't get enough glue up here at the top. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now I want this to go like about right here. So I'm gonna put this, and then, well, I guess I could do it like that. I don't have to pop it up. Do I like it like that? Do I want it popped up? No, I'm gonna put this down first. I'll tell you why, because with that being the only thing popped up, I kind of worry about it snagging on things. I think it's better if nothing's popped up. So I'm gonna put this where I want it. And then let's try and get the broom down. And I think it looks good on top of it. You put the stick down first so that the straw part of the broom can sit on top. Okay. And not too much, because that's a really thin piece. Okay, nice. Now the broom part. There we go. I think that's good. I'm not sure that it needs one of these bottles or anything. I think I've got it's got the round bottom, I thought, cut out somewhere. Maybe not. I could do that, and then let's cut the round bottom die. I used this blue because I thought it looked like glass. And then I guess I could cut the inside. Out of orange. Got a little bit of glue on my fingers. It's sticking. So we can add this or not. This one I'm not sure it's necessary, but I think my nephews will like this, and I'm giving these to my nephews. So I think that they'll kind of like that there's maybe just one, maybe just a round bottom. Okay, and then the other part, I think I want the orange. So in the dies, there's this little piece here. So you can see here's the bottle, and then here's the inside of the bottle. I'm gonna make this orange. Okay, run this through. It just gives a little bit of something. There we go. Let's glue this together. So I'm just going to put the liquid, potion, whatever you want to call this, onto the bottle, the round bottom flask. That's what these are called. These are called round bottom flasks for obvious reasons. These are often used in organic chemistry. I don't think I like that on there. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so there's my box. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can make these boxes for Easter, Halloween, Christmas, birthday, little treat boxes for parties, you know. What do they call those? Little favor boxes. I hope you enjoyed the project. The products seen in the video can be purchased at my website, thecraftychemist.stampinup.net. I have a Facebook group, Crafty Chemist Designs, where I go live and do demos every Sunday. I also have a Facebook VIP group, The Crafty Chemist Presents Stampin' Up. Find me on Instagram at Crafty Chemist Designs, TikTok at Crafty Chemist Designs, YouTube at Crafty Chemist Designs, and my blog, periodicallycrafty.blogspot.com.